So you're trying to provoke something, or what?
Provoke?
Yeah, people trying to make them.
I try to make them think a little bit more than usual. Do you have a specific something in mind? Do you mean like for when I perform, or do you mean the costume, or?
Well, when you go to this talent show, example,
Oh, yes, okay.
is that for winning, or what is it for?
Well, I'll be honest with you. The reason I went to America's Got Talent to begin with was because 3 friends of mine from both the East and the West Coast had said, "Oh, well, we saw a throat singer the year before, and if that guy's costume was a tree, and his arms were like tree branches, and he had like a weird hat on." And they said, "Well, if he can do it, you can do it." So I just tried out and didn't expect to hear anything back. And then, of course, they said, they didn't say it like this, but it was kind of like, "Well, you know, you have something behind you, and we think you've got some talent, blah, blah, blah." And I kind of went from there. And I'll be honest with you, I wanted to bring throat singing to sort of more of a front, you know, where people recognize it, and maybe they would see it as an art form. But I figured in all places in Minneapolis they might appreciate it. But then, of course, I realized, hey, you know, 5,000 people, and they're all mainstream Americans, they're not going to understand what the fuck it is. And I didn't know that they were going to show that clip, because that night I was performing elsewhere. And the only thing I remember about that night, it was like 100 degrees, which would be about, what's it, like 40 Celsius here or something like that. It was pretty hot. It was pretty hot. And friends of mine were expecting to friends of mine who I'd met there were expecting to see themselves on TV. Producers didn't tell us anything. They told us nothing. They kind of shuffle you around. It's kind of like the Gong Show, 21st century style, I think, America's Got Talent. And then they showed me, and I guess the rest is history, because I started like getting this sort of weird, strange following. It's one of the weirdest followings I could ever have. People want to know about the costume, they want to know about me, they want to know why I wore the mask. The masks, quickly, the mask's origin was, I bought that mask at a sex shop here in Aarhus at the end of my 2010 tour, because I was here before. And we were wearing masks on and off during the tour, so I was looking for something else besides a Lone Ranger mask to wear. So that sort of, you know, leather encrusted thingy that looks like Fisk or something seemed to be the case. So I've worn it for 4.5 years up until I got here, and now I've got about 6 different masks I've bought since I've been here. So, yeah, so it just it's kind of made its own stumbling, weird journey. It definitely put me more out front, because I was more like a background guy. But the moment I was on America's Got Talent, that changed everything. Yeah.
In the end, you said something about fuck it if people don't get the joke.
Yeah.
What is it that you consider to be the joke?
I think I think the joke is. I think the joke is kind of on them, because I'm trying to make fun of what people do and what people hold so sacredly. I mean, the costume, if you've noticed, it's all Jewish garb, and I wear it because it's traditional, and I am Jewish, of course, but I kind of take it and kind of make it my own. And the stuff I do, I take very non-traditional things, and I kind of try to bring it to a sort of a different audience. And I like making fun of people. That's one of my things. So once I find out something about somebody, I will find a way to make fun of them. It's like my friend Pedro. If I start finding things out about him, like, you know, he lives here, so I like to pull something out and like make fun of him or something like that. So that's one way if I get to know you, I'll, you know, pinprick you enough. Not as much while I'll hurt you, but does that answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Yeah. Go ahead. Did you want to ask something else?
Oh yeah, it's just a continuation of.
Oh sure.
how big a part of yourself is this whole joke? Is it something you only perform under certain?
Oh, you know what? That's a good question. Actually, I'm in grad school now, in Chicago, and somebody asked me how much is, can you slip in and out of the character? And I discovered I can't do that anymore, because now it's just 100% me. So, I try to be as real as I can, but sometimes I like to loosen up, I guess. I like to joke around a lot because it makes me feel less nervous. I wear the mask, for an example, is because most people don't know that I'm super shy, and which performers get to be super shy. So when you're on the stage, it's sort of different, and you can sort of be you can be this sort of dancing ballerina, and nobody's going to care. I have performed without the mask before too, but it's sort of like there is a sort of a mystique kind of thing. But it's very hard to slip in and out of the character. But I think most people can tell when I'm serious, and most people can tell when I'm joking with them. Anybody else?
Yeah, nice T-shirt you have there.
Oh yeah, thanks. That's
What made you? What's the story behind you coming to Aarhus? No, not behind the T-shirt. The story behind you coming to Aarhus in the first place.
You mean
I've been here before.
Okay, 2010 and 2010. Well,
formatting.
we go back. Let's go back all the way back to 2007. I put a video on YouTube, which is a throat singing song called Michael Board Weasel Squeezer, and I'm a throat singer, so that was my way to exercise my throat, because it's easier to sing with vowels and stuff. And so lo and behold, a little bit later in the year, Pedro De Palma, who's a member of the Clean Boys, he was looking for the band Artless. He was looking for videos by them, and he couldn't find anything. So he typed in Michael Board's name on YouTube, and he found my video. And he left a really nice remark about it, and we kind of sniffed each other out, and we stayed in contact. And then in 2008, there was a festival in Chicago called Chicago Calling, where you collaborate with other people out of state. And I asked the Clean Boys to be my backing band over Skype. And we did this a couple of times. And then they asked me to come to Denmark, and I said, not until we have a record. So we recorded an album over Skype in 2010, released the album here. I flew to Denmark. We toured in a camper van for like about 2.5 weeks all over eastern Denmark, or Jutland. And I sort of, I really fell in love with the country and the people, because as I've said a lot of times, and people laugh when I say this, that Danes are very trusting people, and they seem happy despite all their other problems. You're laughing, it must be true, right? I've talked about Denmark ever since I got home. And people at home in America, they think I've been to Denmark back and forth at least 30 times. Because the way I talk about Denmark so much, they see it on Facebook, so they think it must be real. You know how that is. And and then this time it was arranged, so where we did some shows. I had a show. We did Julpunk in Viborg and Aarhus. And then we did Copenhagen show this time at Bolsjefrika, which is where what I named my improvising orchestra after is the Candy Store Henchman, because it's really, I think it means candy store, because it used to be a candy store in the
candy factory.
Candy factory, yeah, thank you. And so yeah, that's why I'm here. People ask me if I'm going to move here. It's a possibility to maybe flee all my bills, when I graduate from grad school. I think it's a great idea. I think most people should do that. I mean, if you live here in Denmark, you should run to America and do the same thing, or elsewhere, wherever. But yeah, I mean, I really like it here because the people here, they're very super friendly, and they're honest, and they're nice, and they're very trusting. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but in America, nobody trusts anybody, which is a sad commentary on America, but no worries for me. So I guess that's kind of the long, short answer.
Fine.
Sure.
Thanks.
Anybody else?
What